Rainier Avenue Radio.
Welcome to the coronavirus pandemic. I'll take coronavirus for 100. Fever, chills, shortness of breath, loss of taste or smell. What is staying home and isolate? Correct. Coronavirus for 200. Inability to stay awake, persistent pain or pressure in chest, trouble breathing. What is seek immediate help? Correct.
Coronavirus for 500.
Crippling and potentially dead infectious disease eliminated in the United States with vaccination.
What is polio vaccine?
Correct.
I'll take coronavirus for 700.
The Daily Double! Should I take the coronavirus vaccine? Wait. Hold up. This is not a good time for serious discussion. We have coronavirus vaccines, but not everyone is comfortable taking them. Here's the facts. Based on what has been proven about vaccines for other diseases, COVID-19 vaccine may help keep you from getting seriously ill, even if you do get the virus. Getting vaccinated also may protect people around, particularly those at greater risk for severe illness from COVID-19. We don't yet have all of the answers. Get informed, talk to your healthcare physician, and make the right decision for you. This is a message supported by the Washington State Department of Health.
Tune in to Real Estate and Money every Tuesday afternoon from 2:30 to 3 here on Rainier Avenue Radio.world. Join your hosts Violetta Strash with John L. Scott Kent North and Tina Lombard with Guaranteed Rate Affinity. They'll help you navigate the waters of our volatile real estate market and offer you some guidance on how to make your hard-earned money work to make your dreams come true. Learn about current trends, get tips on financial matters, and have fun, interactive discussions about your home inside and out. That's Real Estate and Money.
Hi, it's your favorite Rainier Avenue radio host from the Clean Greens Living Live show. It's Queen Bree
and Robin T.
Our show is live every Thursday at 3:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time with topics ranging from life on the farm, health and wellness, and race and social justice.
We feature guests each week with expertise in activism, entrepreneurship, healing, and food justice.
So come join your girls live every Thursdays at 3:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on the Clean Greens Living Live show. You can even call in and be a part of the show. See you then.
Ở Washington, hầu hết chúng ta đều đồng ý rằng con đường dẫn đến sự an toàn nhất là khi chúng ta đặt điện thoại ra khỏi tầm tay. Nhưng điều đó không dễ làm, vì vậy hãy lan truyền thông điệp và làm gương. Trước khi bạn lên đường, đặt điện thoại của bạn vào hộp đựng găng tay, cài đặt nó với không làm phiền. Yêu cầu bạn bè và gia đình của bạn cũng làm như vậy. Bởi vì khi tất cả chúng ta đều làm phần việc của mình, sẽ tạo ra con đường an toàn hơn cho tất cả mọi người. Chúng ta hãy cùng nhau đến đó. Một thông điệp từ Ủy ban An toàn Giao thông Washington.
Rainier Avenue Radio.world is your 24/7 digital media hub. Tune in at Rainier Avenue Radio.world. Also find us on Facebook, Twitter, and TuneIn apps.
Welcome to Rainier Avenue Radio. This is Afternoons with Monique, recording live in Seattle, Washington, every Thursday at 1 p.m.
Good afternoon, Seattle. This is Monique Lee from the Afternoons with Monique show, and you are on Rainier Avenue Radio. Today, I have the pleasure of inviting one of my fellow Vietnamese American. She is a city council in Renton City. She's the president of the Vietnamese American of Seattle and Snohomish King County. She's also an attorney. And she just recently, last year, co-founded the an AAPI hate, Asian Against AAPI Hate. Please welcome to Afternoons with Monique, Kim Khanh. Hi, Kim Khanh.
Hi, Dee. Hi, everyone.
Can you see me?
Actually, I cannot, but I am new to this. So, I do not see you. I think your camera's off.
Yeah, I am not. My camera's not off, but this is what happens sometimes at the station. So, Dan, if you could please fix that. And it's April 30th in 2 days, and every time I approach this period of time, I get really emotional. Earlier, I was looking at some some of our pictures that I tagged you on Facebook. I don't know if you've seen it. The pictures of the Saigon's fall and the helicopter scene of the last helicopter leaving Vietnam. Here's a one picture that Dan just pulled up. This is a helicopter that's being pushed down of a I don't know what is it called. It's a ship. What is that called, Kim Khanh?
It's on the ship, right? The tarmac of the.
Yeah. And it was being
folks that landed there. Yeah.
Right. It's being pushed down to make room for more helicopter landing. And Dan, can you pull the second one down?
Yeah.
This is a close up of that scene. What a chaotic scene that is. Okay. Next one. This is more helicopter in Vietnam. 1 second. So Dan, it is not my camera. My camera is working fine. This is something on your end. So if you could please fix that, that'll be great. This is a lot of helicopters in Vietnam. And the last, next to last, let's see. Oh, this is the last one. This is a Vietnamese, a group of Vietnamese on a boat. And, whenever I see this scene, this is a boat that looks like one that I was on when I came to Malaysia. This is what I look like in one of these boats. It's always such an emotional time for me. Last year I did this with Judge David Lawson, and I was like getting emotional. And today I'm pretty calm. So okay, thank you, Dan, for sharing those pictures. So Kim Khanh, you came here in 1975, right?
Actually 1991. So I was like later. Yes.
I see.
Not a boat person experience, but I it's always it gets you every time when you see that photo. Because family and friends left during that time. But we were refugees in the Philippines. But certainly, these times always bring back a lot of feelings and emotions.
I came here in 1989, so just a little bit before you. But I learned from history, and I know people in our community who came here a lot sooner than us, and they had a lot of struggle. I was one of the boat people. Millions have did not make it to safety, and 1.4 is now in the United States. How many do we have? How many Vietnamese Americans do we have in Washington now? Do you know?
I think the numbers is growing, but would be at least 80 to 90,000 plus, right?
That's I think that's King County, but Washington, I read something like 1.4.
Oh yeah. 75 would be too low for Washington because we have folks in Spokane. I forget about some of our fellow folks in Spokane. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I tagged a number of our community leaders and friends earlier, including you, to come join our show today to remember this day, and also to learn what one fellow Vietnamese Americans who are a community leader have been doing for the people of Washington State and Vietnamese Americans in the Renton City. So first, this is the third time you are on my show. You are the most invited guest.
You're so loved. Thank you so much, Jay.
So you are now Renton City Council, and I think you ran last last year against Greg and Dunn for King County.
Yes, I ran for the position for King County District 9.
Right. Okay, so Kim Khanh, you are a mother of two, wife, attorney at law, immigration attorney, and the president of the Vietnamese American community of Seattle and Snohomish, King County, and Renton City Council woman. So lots of stuff on your plates. Let's start with your work Actually, before we start with that, just for those that haven't heard your story, very briefly, can you share with us how you came to be in Washington State and how you the journey of from Vietnam to here, and how you came to be Renton City Council?
Yeah, yeah. And again, thank you, Monique, for the opportunity, and Rainier Avenue Radio for this opportunity. Just quickly, I was born in Vietnam in Cam Ranh, and after the war, we tried to escape and we weren't able to. And unfortunately, in the early or the late 1980s and 1990, we were able to be refugees in the Philippines because through the Amerasian program. And so we were there, life in limbo, for about 7 months. And then we were able to fortunately get a sponsor, the Lutheran Church here, and we settled in King County ever since I was 6 years old. My journey to Renton City Council was very much being a part of the community and seeing the need in our community, that there is a lack of representation, and making sure that all of our veterans, seniors, and those who've been on the margins and haven't had a chance and a voice be heard. And so I'm very honored to have the opportunity and to continue serving, and then making sure that our communities all are being taken care of.
Represented. So you've been on the city council for 2.5 years now, right? Almost.
Yeah, I don't know. I lost count the pandemic, but elected in 2019.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow. It's been that long. So it's like on to year 3 or around year 3 now, right?
Yeah, 3 going to 4. Yeah.
So tell us about your experience being on Renton City Council. What were some of the initiative and some of the work that you guys have done?
Yeah, there are great things happening in Renton. Obviously, we have a lot of learning and improvements, just like every other society in cities. But certainly, the amazing things that's been happening is our push for social justice and equity. Given the pandemic, there's a lot of things that we actually have known that systematically has really impacted our communities, particularly communities of color and our veterans and seniors. But having the pandemic right in front of our eyes, really seeing what is happening. So in Renton, we were able to push the Equity Commission, making sure that our contracts and our city services are equitable for all of our communities in different neighborhoods, right? You often hear the South Side, the North Side, who's getting more resources. So the Equity Commission is underway implementation. There is an Equity Housing Human Services Department because there is a huge need in housing. Making sure that our elders are not left behind and our veterans are basically a part of the community, and making sure that they have a voice as well.
Right. And in the Vietnamese American, there's a large number of Vietnamese American who live in Renton. Has there been any interesting activities or initiative or any event around that community, since you're Vietnamese, that is noteworthy that you would like to share?
Yeah, well, as elected side on Renton City Council, I initiated the historic Lunar New Year proclamation, and making sure that our cultures and sharing our culture, making sure that folks know that this is the most, Lunar New Year is the most important holiday for our tradition, and a lot of other Asian countries as well. And of course, making sure that we have, language access. So actually, you'll see some signs in Renton that has Vietnamese letters and words, right? And that's really a lot of that surrounding the cultural piece. But definitely with the pandemic, you were looking at anti-Asian sentiment and violence, and really our work in Renton, and thanks to the community, we have galvanized and making sure that our elders are protected, particularly Asian elders, during this time in the last 2 years because of the increase in violence against our communities. And you probably have seen some of the news clip last year, but through AAPI Against Hate, we've held over 100 plus rallies and community conversations, and actually got the governor to join us in Renton to declare against hate and be in solidarity with the Asian American Pacific Islanders community. So lots of things are happening in Renton, and I am always making sure that no community is left behind. I think it's, when we look at public safety, it's everyone. It's not one particular community, and that's really my focus here in council and as a community leader.
Yeah. The group that you co-founded, what is it called?
I co-founded a group called AAPI Against Hate. A lot of our uncles, aunts, meaning older, senior, elder Asian Americans and allies, and our young high school, college students. So it's a whole movement that we had created together. So credit to the young folks to be able to really lifted and elevated the voices that have been left behind the last 2 years.
In 2020, during the beginning of the pandemic, there was a lot of hate crime, and there was many, the 8 murders, 6 in Atlanta, 2 in another city, and numerous incidents of anti-Asian sentiments and hate crimes that happen against our community. Lately, we haven't heard too much of that. It's like it's kind of went away, but it's still going on, except it doesn't get reported as much. Is that? That's my impression, but you probably follow this a little bit more closely than I do. Can you report or update us on what's going on in that subject? Just because it doesn't get reported doesn't mean that it ceased to happen.
Yeah, totally on point there, Jay. Anti-Asian violence and sentiment has been around forever, right? Since the first Chinese worker. So it's we look through the histories and what this country has inflicted, quite frankly, pain in our communities, and the system, how it works. So it's nothing new. So the last 2 years is just the more of the term "quote unquote" Chinese virus coming out. And then there is this wave of media outlets that wanted to showcase, right? And unfortunately, it's during the pandemic, but these incidents have happened and continue to happen. And during the last 2 years, we, as part of the Vietnamese community on our board, the Vietnamese American community of Seattle, Snohomish, King counties, we've been working in coalition with King County Coalition Against Hate and Bias, and to document these incidences. And so to say that just because the news doesn't report, it's no longer there, that's inaccurate. So you're totally right that it's still happening. It's happening where we're looking at, access to reporting, access to language, access to counselors for our survivors. And it's something that we continually have to monitor. It's not going to go away anytime soon. We have to look at our hate crime laws. We have to look at making sure government is held accountable. When we have governments that don't look like us, chances are they're going to make policies and law that are not going to relate to our community or protect our community. So it's very important for us to continue making sure that our community has a voice.
Right. And this coming weekend, on May 1st, actually, I'm going to mention this. It's about middle of the show. It's 1:16. You're on Rainier Avenue Radio. This is Monique from the Afternoons with Monique show. This weekend, we are going to have on Sunday, May 1st, API Heritage Celebration Month is taking place in downtown Seattle at Seattle Center, Armory Hall. And it will be between noon and 5 p.m. So we would like to let the community know, it's a family-friendly event with 16, 17 Asian ethnic communities joining together to showcase culture, literature, we have book signing, we have dance teams, K-pop and modern Asian dance groups, we have drill teams, we have storytelling, and most of all, we're going to have a Hambao eating contest honoring Alan Sugiyama, the founder of that event, API Heritage Celebration Month at Seattle Center. So, folks, if you are available 1 to 5, and the Hambao eating contest will be hosted by me. I will be officiating the chefs, the beloved chefs of our community, competing for who can eat it the fastest. So it'll be a fun, family-friendly event. Please join us. Okay, back to our show. Today we have Kim Khanh, who's currently Renton City Council woman and Vietnamese American of King County and Snohomish County president, also co-founder of AAPI Against Hate on my show. We're talking about Asian Americans, being attacked, being victimized, being murdered during the pandemic, and the awareness of those sentiments and those atrocious events need to be highlighted every time we have a chance to talk about it. So we're talking about it now. So Kim Khanh, we're still on that topic, but I do want to talk about an important question I wanted to ask you. Last year, you had you took a very courageous, big step to challenge an establishment incumbent, Reagan Dunn, who was the city council, the King County council member with very strong backing from the Republican Party. And although you lost, you were the challenger, the final challenger that came to debate with Mr. Dunn. So with such an interesting, and I would consider that is an important event, and a Vietnamese American who came and became an American, grew and being developed by Americans, school system and trained by Americans people. You are now, at the top of the, I would say that the party in terms of Vietnamese American, you made it to a very high level. We only have less than a handful of successful community leaders, political leaders, and you're one of them. So tell us about your experience running against such a strong institution and such a strong candidate.
Yeah, well, thank you for your kind words. I don't think I'm at anywhere at the top. I would say probably just learning the ropes. But it's like with anything that we do it for our community. So it's really, there's no ego in it. It's about our community and our issues. And our community is not just the Asian community. It is the veterans, those with learning differences, LGBTQIA community, the BIPOC community, immigrant refugees, all the communities that have actually been left behind and still are being left behind in representation at King County. Like the issue of the asphalt plant. Would you want an asphalt plant right next to your house? The health issues, right? You're looking at concerns on the roads, the Cedar River. You're looking at the house value of not appreciation, but actually depreciation. So there's a lot of issues that we're looking at in terms of District 9. So for me, it's about our community and who has been left out of the conversation. I know that our community, when we come together, is stronger. And it's unfortunately the way we campaign the pandemic is a little bit different. But I truly believe as a public servant is that you will do the things that's right for your community. Whether you win or lose is how you go about doing it. And it's also about bringing those issues up because oftentimes, maybe the person does not have the experience that you have. And I think that in a county like King County, where we have such a diverse population, ethnically, professionally, learning differences, different styles, different backgrounds, rural community, unincorporated. We really need to take those perspectives into account and really value our community members. So that's kind of my perspective in going out and running. And I definitely appreciate the opportunity to connect with our neighbors and our veterans in Enumclaw, our small businesses in Enumclaw. They're wonderful people, and really making sure that we have the resources to those communities to get distributed to them, and making sure that transportation, housing, we're looking at environmental issues, just so many things that's happening in our community that needs to be addressed.
Right. We have about 5 minutes left on the show. So what's next for you, Kim Khanh? I mean, you're running a lot, you're wearing a lot of hats, and you're doing a good job with, are you still practicing law at the same time as running the city council?
Yeah. I'm still active practicing law. And what's next? I don't really think about what's next. It's just whatever issues that our community's in need of. Like, I'm always currently involved in several boards, like our Renton Technical College Foundation, providing scholarships to students, our Renton Rotary, our PACE, Asian American First Pacific Islander Pursuit Engagement, making sure that our communities, whatever community it is that I'm with, Renton, District 9, Washington, right? Any community, making sure that people are not left behind. And more importantly, for this next few days, tomorrow we have a PTA fundraiser, because I'm the co-president of our PTA, to making sure that we have resources for our school and our students and our teachers. Like we mentioned, when we do April 30th, we have a full day events, honoring our veterans with the VFA post here in Renton. Our organization will be making a contribution to their posts financially. Also with our Joint Services Command, the United States Army Volunteer Reserve, the part that I'm a part of, that I'm a JAG of, making sure that we provide resources for and support our veterans, especially what the JV Joint Services Command is doing is boots on graves as a mission. Right, there's resources that is needed to help with the final ceremonies for our fallen soldiers, and so just making sure that if there is an issue in our community, making sure that we are going to address it front and center, and certainly you might already know, G, is the links that they're connecting from West Seattle and then Ballard going through Chinatown International District. That is it's such a displacement and anti-Asian process if they're going to go through Fifth Avenue, because it's basically you're demolishing Oasis T-zone. You're demolishing some of the small businesses building, and our community is going to be displaced again. So that is a huge issue that community members out there are fighting for.
I don't know anything about that. Can you tell us more?
I'm not actively involved in it, but it's things that I'm sending, commenting, asking neighbors too. And basically what it is there's recent development in the Chinatown International District. The Sound Transit's plan to extend much needed light rail access. So it's from downtown transit center to West Seattle and Ballard. So the way they have to go ahead and build the infrastructure is either through Fifth Avenue or Fourth Avenue. So which means that part of the lower part, the south Fourth Ave or Fifth Ave at the start of Rainier and CID, that part's going to basically be wiped out, right? So even up to like Oasis T-zone, which is one of my favorite places to go get my bubble tea. So as you can see, buildings are going down to build lanes, right, for the transit. And so that is a huge issue because we as the Asian Pacific Islander community, the Chinese community, the Asian community are getting pushed out even further and potentially being displaced. And this just reminds me of when I was in college, when we were protesting against the big mall that was going to be built on Dearborn Street.
Right.
Those small businesses around there would have been displaced.
Right.
And so that is something that I'm asking your viewers and folks that and my networks to please make comment I think the deadline is today at midnight on Sound Transit's link. But yeah, there's lots of things that we need to be aware of.
Right. If you could put Kim Khanh, when we're done with the episode, if you could, type in the comment part the link that people could get to with Sound Transit and explore, learn about the issue, that would be great. Asian American against AAPI against hate. Also, what are you guys doing next?
Yeah, we are planning a rally sometime in third week of May, and recognizing those who've shoulder we stand on, and those who've passed, and those who are still seeking for justice, like the deceased John Huynh, right? Shane Nguyen, who passed, who got murdered, his body dismembered in Illinois last year. So there's a lot of events that are happening, and I'll definitely share them with you.
Absolutely. Folks, that is Kim Khanh of our community. She just shared with us a number of projects she's been working on. You remember April 30th, 1975, Vietnamese American always remember this day to be a very special day to remember why we are here. 4.5 million Vietnamese abroad, left behind 90 million Vietnamese right now in Vietnam. We have 1.4 in Washington State, and many of us will remember this day forever. So in the community, Kim Khanh, if there is an event that you are coming to or would like to promote and let people know about, if you wouldn't mind sharing that under the comment too, so people can come and commemorate this day, I would really appreciate it. That is this coming Saturday. And folks, don't forget Asian Heritage Month is coming up in May, beginning with the May 1st event at downtown Seattle Center. Please come and join us noon to 5, and I'll be there emceeing the Hambao eating Alan Sugiyama Hambao eating contest with 9 celebrity chefs. So come join us. All right. Well, that's our show. Thank you so much, Kim Khanh for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, you on Rainier Avenue Radio. Have a good afternoon, everybody.